Good morning and welcome back to another episode of Business Beyond the Beach in partnership with our friends here at Miami Community Newspapers and generously sponsored by Maman. They are our coffee provider, making sure that we have enough energy to get us through the day. Of course, they have locations and stores all across Miami-Dade County, but our favorite is their Sunset Harbor location in South Beach. My name is Brittnie Bassant. I'm the president and CEO of the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce, and today I am joined by Marco Sousa. He is the president and founder of CL Wizard. Marco, it's so great to have you with us.
So thank you very much. So I'm Marco Sousa, president of CL Wizard LLC. So thank you very much for having me here.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to have you.
Love this opportunity.
It's so great. So CL Wizard. Oh my God. What is that? I know what it is, but our audience wants to know, what's CL Wizard? What do you guys do? What kind of services do you offer? Walk me through your company.
So CL Wizard is a technology company that focused in develop technology to fix water intrusion in concrete. So the difference is because we are like a company that work like out of box, So we develop instead of like getting materials in the market and doing the work on the prescriptions. So we basically developed our own materials. We develop machines, accessories, all the procedures, and we also do the work. So everything is under the control of CL Wizard.
It's all inclusive. Tell me a little bit, because it's a very unique special, is it proprietary? Is it a proprietary material?
It is.
Okay, so it's a very unique, special proprietary material that you guys use. It's so cool. Talk a little bit more about how that substance works when you're talking about water intrusion, because not only is it very innovative, but it's a very, like you said, out of the box way of approaching water leaks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the thing is, the key fact is because our materials are made for a class different from the materials that we already have in the market, as those sealants, resins like a polyurethane and epoxy, or is also the acrylates. It's a material that is same density and viscosity of the water. It's water-like consistency and is able to turn water into rubber and become like a flexible and solid material. That's why it's able to go wherever the water goes and turns everything into rubber. So that's why it's so efficient.
It's so freaking cool, actually.
Yes.
Because you've explained it to me, and I think it's amazing how this material works. Because, like you said, it follows the water, and it expands, and it seals, and it prevents against that intrusion.
It doesn't expand. It's just like it goes through by our proprietary electronic pump system. So we also developed our machines, accessories, and everything. That's the key fact of the material, because it's inert. It just like it behaves as water and then turns everything into rubber.
Right. That's so cool. That is so cool. Okay, so your family has been in this engineering business. You started in Brazil over 20 years ago. Your family has been in like the structural engineering business. And so how did that influence what you're doing today? How did that background influence you starting CL Wizard, branching out on your own, creating these proprietary materials, really focusing in on, like you said, you're like a technology company, but you're working against water intrusion. It's a very unique concept. So tell me how your family background and your family's business influenced that.
Yeah, so my family was always involved in construction. So my father, even if as not an engineer, but on site work, he always worked with like a very big projects. Since I was like kid, I was walking with him in like big projects. So when I got like on vacations, whatever, I don't want to go like anywhere. I just want to go with my father on their projects. And, he used to travel a lot between these big projects, and I was always with him. So that's the major thing, and why I became passionate about everything, also machines and whatever it is. So that, I think that was the main fuel to start the things.
And what really sort of inspired you to invent? Because you invented it. Like, it's proprietary. You guys came up with this technology, this material, this substance to combat this issue and this problem. What inspired you to invent that? Like, how does that even come about?
The thing is, everything is become technology is a mix of knowledge and technique, and it's also involves the creation of the machines that we have right now. Also, the material changed many times, and it's completely different. Like it's like we always updating things, and it's just because when you are curious about things, it's like I since I was young, I was always looking to see how the thing works, and then you become like question. the desire to make things possible, you know. So in the end, we start like researching, searching. So everything starts with like a small partnership, and then blah blah blah, and then and then I decided to move it here.
And you have this incredible background in like highway and structural engineering, and then you founded and created this company with this proprietary material that focuses on. It was very innovative, and it's also very like there's a lot of technology behind it, and there's also a sustainability component. And so, how do you marry all of those things? How do you blend all of those things together?
I think engineering is a kind of is always involved with sustainability, right? It's some people think the construction with the environment and everything, it's always impact negative on sustainability and things like that, but it's not that way. So as a highway engineer, people used to think that the highway, when it's like rough roads, they are natural and they have no impact with the nature at all, but they are much more harmful for the environment than a paved road, because they have carry materials from to the rivers. It's a big mess if you compare with a paved road. It's also become more painful for the cars that is driving on all the road surfaces, and it's all connected. If when you do like a project with like a paved road and became more easier to people to drive, the car is gonna be like more economical. So you're not gonna lose that much things on like suspension or whatever it is. So you're always saving things for the nature, right? So, but it's almost the same. So when you start fixing things faster, and make it last longer than any other things, of course, it's a huge addition to the environment. Especially, let's say Florida. So the biggest problem that we have over here related to the National Water Institute, I have to see what is it. But the last study that said that the Everglades, the pH of the water of Everglades, it's completely changed because of the materials they put on the landfills and the construction materials that go to the landfills, and then it have a rain and it seeps to the ground, and it's also changing the behavior and then the structure of the animals over there. So it's a huge impact. So
well, yeah, because everything's interconnected, right?
Exactly.
And there's a domino effect on every single decision that's made because it affects something else. And so
exactly,
we have to keep reminding ourselves of that.
Exactly. So if you think about like fixing things right away without too much demolition, or maybe people, I already tried this many times. So it's not going to be like an attempt. Every time you redo something, you spend more money, you spend more resources from the environment, you throw them away. So it's going to be automatically much more environment safely.
So how long have you had CL Wizard established here in the U.S.? Like how long has your company been around?
We started in 2017.
Wow, that's great. That's amazing. And so what do you think is a common mistake or misconception that people sometimes have, like a perception when it comes to concrete leaks or structural repairs? Like what do you think is a common misconception, or a few?
I think the most like misconception that comes with is everybody asking like, but where the leak goes? It's like, what's the problem with where the leaks goes? If it's not harmful for the structure of the building, if it's not deteriorating the building, a lot of situations that we get, and we do like investigation with like, because I'm also part of litigations on side of engineers, working with engineers, that we found that it's not a waterproofing related issue. It's just like a constructed method that allow the water to get in. So that's why I'm saying it's sometimes these solutions are not going to be available in the market. So you have to understand what's going on, and you have to develop a specific way to keep the water where it should be. So some people is like always saying that, but where the leak goes, it's like as they think everything is protected by like a balloon. It's like not it's almost impossible. So When you have like a huge waterproofing layer, a deck or something like that, there's many, because it works with like a different contractors, different type of waterproofing that they never match together. So there's always kind of way that the water is going to seep through some areas. So the best way, instead of like just like the ripping apart everything, is just focus on the area that you have to fix, and then you develop a specific solution for that area. So that way we're going to keep the water where engineers prepare the area to get this water,
Right.
and so the system, the drainage or whatever it is going to take care of it. But it's like a kind of misconception thinking like we have to rip everything apart and do it everything again, because it's just like leaking over here. And sometimes you go to like building and there's like a only 10-year-old whatever, and they need to change everything because there's a leak of somewhere. It's like it doesn't make sense for me. It's just like losing so much money, is losing so much time, and they sometimes they do things like that and they still have the issue. So that's what I'm saying, is losing too much.
Focus on addressing the problem and the issue at hand.
Exactly.
Don't worry about the other things.
Punctual
Yes.
with a specialized company, with the specialized people. It's not just about technology, materials, machines, whatever, but also who is doing the work. So
Right.
nothing works alone. Everything must be well made. Everything must be. There's like a lot of very good materials in the market, but I saw many situations that they didn't work because they wasn't applied well. It's just like
Well, there wasn't in synergy, I think, with the other design components of the building.
or design, or related to who is working with the material or installation. It's like you need to have like people really committed and reach the quality and specification, or even like thinking outside the box on site to see how the thing works.
Right.
That's why we need specialized people in these areas, or in front of these areas, like on construction site or repairing, things like that.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing.
Very, very, very interesting. So, okay. So CL Wizard has been around since 2017.
Yes.
Right? Congratulations to you. Looking back on the history of your company, what would you say is your proudest moment?
My proudest moment. Oh my gosh. For sure. It's a quick story. I always came to buildings when I started my company. I was like walking around and say, hey, do you have something to fix? Or, oh, we're already taking care of it. But, it's nobody knows you. Nobody knows your material. And of course, I was searching for people that had already tried many, many times something impossible. I'll fix for you to show you how it works. So that way, I after walk like 8 to 9 months, I got my first work for free to do.
Wow.
So they said, like, I have nothing to lose. I already tried this for many, many years, like 16 years in Hallandale, like a building in Hallandale. So, and then I fixed that, and after a couple of weeks, after crazy rain, oh my gosh, it's
fixed.
Yes, and the news started spreading. So, of course, during that way, I was proposing for many buildings my solution, instead like a ripping up the whole waterproofing, like $1 million solutions for like maybe a tenth or 20% of the cost, just working on the expansion joints from below and whatever it is, design everything and make it work. So, and of course, I had many engineers that was against me at the time and say, Marco, it looks great, but we do not recommend, we don't know this, we don't know that, unless with like on the conversation. But of course, they already refused. And I did some of the projects. They lost the thing. They already pay me to do the work. And of course, some of these buildings, they already were they still on the engineering consulting for these buildings, but they never touch the areas that I work anymore.
Wow.
Even like if there are hurricanes.
That's a huge
buildings,
testament.
yes, buildings that I fixed like for 30 years leaking, they already spent millions of dollars like every 10 years, but they always keep the gutters because they're always leaking. So I fix everything with like one single drop for many years, and like 4 years after, one of them like called me back on the phone after like 4 years after, and he say, Marco, I have lawyers in my neck. We did this work in this building. We are delivering the work like for 1.5 years. We're still redoing some work over there for like more than a year, and we still have the issue. We cannot stop the problem. So you may have a solution for me. And then I did a project for him. I sent to him what I'm going to do. So he signed down and said, hey, Mark, do it. So I I start like solving these things for him, and now he's like with me in every single big project that he has. It's
Oh my gosh.
bringing me a lot of things, especially because he wants the best for their clients. Who wants to get like let's say if you are on the side of association to deliver a solution for them because they already got some money from insurance, whatever it is, and they do the same thing but waiting different results. So that's what we are doing. So you cannot do exactly the same thing and wait for different results, right? There's something go wrong. And so that's why he's with me right now with his lawyers to go on these projects and deliver the solutions which belongs to me, to give them the best solution in the market, to make sure they have no headaches. They're going to spend the money one time and get it done. So of course that was the process moment. The guy like refusing you like for a whole time, and then they call you, Marco, I need your help.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Like that, when you have that sort of testimonial, you have that sort of loyalty from your clients. That's a huge testament to you and the work that you've done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So earlier you said at the very beginning when I was talking about your family business in Brazil, you said that you never went on vacations when you were younger. You just wanted to go with your dad to construction projects. So you don't want to go on vacations. You want to just like go to construction projects. And now you're doing a bunch of work internationally with CL Wizard. So when you go internationally on these projects, do you ever get to enjoy the fun side of things? Do you get to enjoy the travel side of it? Or are you just like so strictly business?
No. We never enjoy as we could, because when your head, when your head is focused and doing something like that, it's not easy to come to a different country, like speaking your first grade English like that, and start like convince people that you have something that they don't know.
Right.
It's really complicated, and
it takes a lot of effort. Yeah.
Yes, and of course, it needs a lot of commitment and sometimes a lot of brainstorm. Something that it's going to take much more energy from you than you ever think about.
Right.
So even if I'm traveling, even like we have like a couple projects with our partner in Australia, which also works together with me. So even going there, we are always thinking ahead. So we're going to see that if that situation happens. Of course, we used to enjoy sometimes, but every time you come back and say, oh, I didn't do that. So I'm supposed to do this. But of course, your brainstorm is so...
Right, you're working.
Yes, you're so busy that sometimes you have no time. Even if you try to rest sometimes, but you cannot enjoy as you like going to a vacation,
Understood.
I think it's...
Understood.
Yeah.
A couple more questions for you, and then we'll get ready to wrap it up. Two more questions. What made you choose the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce to be like sort of your business partner in this journey and become a member of the chamber? And how do you feel like the Miami Beach Chamber has impacted your business and work?
Brittnie, I came here without knowing one single person, everything from scratch. I started developing relationship and meeting people. So I came to Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce because the first approach that I had with a chamber, I was treated completely different from anyone. I'm serious, That's why I became part. It's because it was like much more welcome. They are looking to you, and I became part like immediately. So, but I just left yesterday a meeting with another chamber of commerce, and I was like talking to my wife and comparing. It's like, oh my gosh, you cannot compare. You cannot compare the effort from the people, based on what we do and the experiences that I had and everything. Even the questions that you ask, they are very limited. So look what we are doing here. This is something completely out of the box, a chamber like using the power of like relationship, not just like but using the media, the social media, which
absolutely.
is booming right now, and doing things like that. This is not normal, This is not normal. This is not something that we see like everywhere. And of course, Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce is completely out of the box. It's the commitment of everyone that is there is completely different from every single. And I visit like 99.9% of the places,
Right,
believe
right.
me.
Well, that warms my heart. So thank you so much for that. We have an amazing community at the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce, incredible team, an incredible board of governors, and then just the business community as a whole. I think everybody's just working towards the same goal, which is, a rising tide lifts all boats. If you succeed, we succeed, everyone succeeds. And so that's what we work towards at the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce. And that's our philosophy. So I really appreciate that. That means a lot to us. And I know it means a lot to our team and to our community. We're going to wrap it up. This is the last question, but you've had this dynamic journey and this incredible career, and it's still going, right? But if you can go back in time and give your younger self a piece of advice when you were first starting out, what would you tell yourself?
Believe more in yourself.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I feel
like you really believed in yourself. Marco, you invented technology. This is incredible.
I have to say, because when I graduate, especially in the field of like highway, you always have like surrounded like a lot of very experienced people.
Right.
Even if I'm passionate, when you leave college, you think you don't know things. You need to have experience. You need this. You need that. Sometimes I have conversation in the companies that I was like, oh my God, maybe I'm wrong or something. You doubt yourself because you're in the middle of people that is there for a long time. And I think that's the biggest mistake that you're going to do, because I'm right in 98-point-something% of the case of the area and all my thoughts, the way I was thinking the things. But it took me some time to believe that much in myself and really believe that I have this, because if you graduate, if you go to school, if you're good on doing things, and if you have all the knowledge, you're going to be able to do everything. It's experience, of course, is important, but it's much more like related to technical and things that you're going to live on it. But if you have the deep information about the science of the thing, you can make the things from scratch yourself. You have to believe much more in yourself. Doesn't matter. Of course, you're going to make mistakes, but make mistakes as soon as you can. It's better than make mistakes like later, So, and then you make it work. I did many, but of course, I think if I should believe more in me at the first time I think that's the best advice.
Well, I think that's a great way to end this segment with you. Definitely believe in yourself. Do not doubt yourself. Reach for the stars. Reach for the moon.
Yes.
You can do it. Absolutely. And so this has been great, Marco. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening. This has been another episode of Business Beyond the Beach in partnership with our friends here at Miami Community Newspapers, and of course, generously sponsored by Maman. They are our coffee sponsor for this series, and they have locations across Miami-Dade County, but our favorite location is Sunset Harbor in South Beach. Again, thank you for watching. You guys stay tuned for another episode next week.